What's going on, guys? This is Zach with HDA Cigars. On the HDA Lounge Life video series, I have Brett from Tobaccology here in Northern Virginia, specifically out of the Manassas shop. Episode 1 coming to you guys here very shortly. Brett, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Of course.
How are you? I appreciate you. You guys are the very first shop that brought in HDA. And it feels like it's only right that you guys are the very first episode of the HDA Lounge Life video series.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
So,
absolutely. Honored to be here.
yeah, man. It feels like yesterday, but it was what, a year and a half ago now that you brought HDA
Was it
in?
that long?
Yeah, April of 2024, man.
The question is, how do you feel about that? Because that's
Yeah, dude, it's been
from the brand side. It's
yeah,
a lot of work.
Yeah, man, it's been a wild ride, man. It's been a wild ride, but no, you guys have been great for the brand. Couldn't think of a better first episode to have here. So why don't you take a little bit of time, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Tobaccology.
Well, my name is Brett Fry. Decided to open a shop after I left the Army back in 2010. Moved to Northern Virginia. Didn't want to drive east to get in the traffic, as you know, and decided to settle down out here, Manassas area. Opened this shop in 2011, and just been working ever since. Learning, getting better, having fun.
15 years in, right? 15 years?
I guess. I'm not. It's funny because a lot of folks who own shops do 5-year, 10-year anniversaries, and we've never done an anniversary party. And it's not that I don't value having made it this far or don't appreciate that. It just doesn't even come up. This stuff's hard.
It is hard, man. It also speaks to the fact that you guys are always looking forward, maybe instead of looking back too. It's like, who has time to go back and think about? It's been exactly 3 years.
We're gonna redo this, and that's what I'm gonna say.
Always looking forward, not looking back. Yeah, man. Yeah. So we are in the Manassas shop, and you have a second shop as well, correct?
A second under the name of Tobaccology.
Yep.
That one we opened in downtown Haymarket. Mm-hmm. In, I think it was 2016, I believe, 2016 or 17. Again, I forget these things because those dates just don't set like that.
Sure.
Wife loves that, by the way. It's a shop with about a half acre of land because we started packing this shop as this is only, 1,400 square feet, 1,300 square feet. And we would be, I was just about to say birthday. Yeah, this would be packed, and we needed a little bit more room. So the Haymarket shop gave us that ability. It's a 2-story, kind of like a single-family home type of thing, smaller, but it gave us the ability to have larger events with the outside area.
Right.
And then about 3.5 years ago, almost 4 now, I was able to become the third tobacconist owner of Leesburg Cigar and Pipe. So Bill and then Cliff before him did a great job at building that. And that is under the Tobaccology family now.
Different name, but
it's under the, running the Tobaccology family, but yeah.
Yeah, that Leesburg Cigar and Pipe store is in downtown Leesburg. Like, that location is absolutely killer, man. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Expensive, but good.
Yeah. I think what's really cool about each one of your shops is they're significantly different from one another. Completely different layout, completely different vibe and personality to each one of the shops. And I think they complement each other nicely. Like, you have 3 shops all in the Northern Virginia area, but I have to imagine at each one of your shops, you have like probably 3 completely different types of clientele.
I think every shop, 100%, has its own set of clientele. There are, however, glue people, and there's no other way to describe them other as glue, right? They have the ability to adapt to any type of social situation, and they help you kind of ambassador each shop and kind of bring it all together. However, each one has its own shop. Each one has its own flavor, its own culture, like its own character. Yeah, man. Which is really neat because the shop kind of takes on an entity of itself.
Yeah, man. This for those of you who are familiar with the Northern Virginia area, like Brett said, this shop is specifically in Manassas, and it's in a pretty prime location here in Manassas too. You guys are right off of a major highway. You guys are really close to a few different breweries right around the corner. The little shopping center, man.
Yeah, we're just outside of Manassas on the Bristow side.
Right. Yeah, man. So it only felt right to do the video here at this location.
I agree.
So tell me a little bit about your humidor curation. I feel like, I learned a little bit more about it firsthand back in 2024 when you brought HDA in. But I could tell that of all the shops that we have met with when it comes to ownership or managers, you were up at the very top and very pointed critiques about the blends and critiques about the cigars and the brands that you were bringing in. Like, it was very, very obvious that you were very particular about who you were bringing in and why.
Oftentimes I'll make a comment that we're curators of a museum, but the way you said it's perfect, because we really do. If you're a tobacconist and you really love this, and you don't treat every cigar as a commodity, it becomes a partnership.
Yeah.
And in that sense, you have to like the people that are making the cigars and or the people that are selling cigars, and it's a whole, as well as the tobacco itself. And it's changed over the years.
Man, yeah.
It's because when you're small and you're starting out, you want to support the people that give you attention. And the people that give you attention are all too often smaller brands, smaller companies. And you start off extremely boutique, and you have to almost work to get into bigger mass market brand names. And it's an ebb and flow. And we've been able to find a good medium now, which allows us to carry both and give everybody a shot. Because in the end, if people are just bringing in a box or two, I don't know if they're really giving the brand a shot.
Sure.
And it's hard if you don't even have backups. There's things that you've learned. Merchandising from different companies, different people, you learn these things. And a lot of them are backed by science, some are just backed by a bunch of bull. But either way, you learn because you've been doing this so long. And it's an ebb and flow. And you gotta support people you like.
Yeah, man.
Right? You gotta have fun with
it. Dude, for sure. I mean, like, I from a brand perspective, one of the things that we've learned is that not every lounge or every store is right for us. And I gotta imagine that goes the other way. Not every brand is quite right for you either here at the shop.
As much as I would like to get along with everybody, there is a part of it that comes down to, do your customers enjoy the cigars?
For sure.
And that is a wild game of the flavor profiles, the type of cigars, the country of origin, as well as how hard do people that own the brand work?
Sure.
Are they out there promoting their brand?
Sure.
Are they sending people in, whether that's to my shop or not? Are they doing what it takes to get people to want to buy their cigars or want to search out their cigars? And that matters.
Yeah.
And some people don't do that.
Yeah.
Some people do that. Some people don't do that. Or some people do it in the beginning. And then that fades off.
Sure.
Priorities fade, which is fine. At the same time, that happens on our end too.
Yeah. So tell me, what would you say is the ratio of, like, say, legacy to boutique brands that you carry here in the humidor? I mean,
and legacy, you mean mass market?
Mass market, yeah. Sure.
Well, that really comes down to what we call
boutique. Yeah.
Boutique.
Sure.
Is it is it the factory producing a million cigars a year? Is it the company selling?
Yeah.
I know that's a big number when we're talking here with this brand, but that's really what determines it, right?
Yeah, because that terminology is. You talk to 10 people, you get 10 different answers.
I was in with Romacraft for a long time, and I have 100 and some facings.
Right.
So for me, they're not boutique, but a lot of people would probably consider Romacraft boutique, right? I've just been on board for a long time with Mike and Skip, for example. So I would say there's a good match. Do I know the numbers? No, but I'm not always that. I'm not that guy.
Sure.
I'm not that guy who knows all the numbers of everything.
Sure.
A lot of times I'm flying by the seat of my pants, and there's things that I can get better at, and knowing numbers such as that. But again, that is a skewed dynamic, or when you think about what means mass market or not.
Yeah.
But we do have some big brands, and there are some big brands we don't carry.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I think that from my perspective, there's a really good balance that you have that I gotta imagine. You toe the line of being able to support some of these smaller brands and be able to bring your customers some cigars maybe that they aren't going to be able to get everywhere else, like HDA. But then you're also making sure that you're appealing to those that really like some of the mass market or legacy brands as well. So,
well, and we've had those conversations of when we were talking about this was, what type of customers do you attract? And if you're heavy boutique or you're heavy mass market, you're pigeonholing yourself in the sense, I do believe. There is no answer to that. What I can tell you is, do people who consume cigar culture and the industry come in here? Yes. Is that my everyday customer? No.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not that shop that has the guys that they're writing their own blogs. Now, do some guys come in who have their own blogs? Yes.
Sure.
I'm saying blog just as an example of what I mean when I say that. But it's very unique. I mean, it's everyday guys.
Yeah.
Everyday women that just come in.
Yeah.
That just want to enjoy cigars. Now, as a tobacconist, do I get to push that forward a little bit by myself having a brand and be like, oh yeah, you should probably try this because I know you'll like this.
Right.
So that helps.
That's a huge piece, I think, of owning a cigar lounge is having somebody at the helm, somebody who knows the product that it is that they're selling. They know the brands. They know what a customer comes in. Hey man, last time you were here, you smoked this. You should give this one a try. This is a new brand that we have. That type of attitude that a manager or a cigar shop owner has is huge for not only for the people, but it's great for brands too. It's that personal relationship that you have that you can make those recommendations for certain people. It speaks volumes
too, because when you expand, and these are brings up issues that I've come across, is when you expand, there are part-time employees who want to know more about and become professional tobacconists or want that knowledge, and then there's guys who just like being here.
And they like the discount on cigars,
so
dude.
the recommendations aren't as on point, or the knowledge is still being gained, right?
Sure.
That the humble acceptance of learning takes some time. So it's a curse too, right? It's a blessing in the sense that yes, I love that. I love that, and I wish I could be at every one of my shops every hour for every person that came in. And that's the trick: is how do I get other folks to come help and work that are humble in their quest for more knowledge and hungry in that quest for knowledge, and then helpful enough to relay that.
Yeah.
Relay that to customers.
I mean, it's a tough balance that any business has when they start growing, is trying to do what they can to maintain the culture of what it was that got them to that point while still being able to expand. And I think you've towed the line greatly. I mean, like I said, each one of your shops has a different personality, and obviously you can't be at all of them at once. So, I mean, I would say that out of every time that I come into one of your shops, I would say I'm pretty even split on which ones I go into. I feel like I catch you right about 33% of the time, so it seems like you kind of do the rounds nicely.
Well, at this point, yeah.
And I'll say that everybody that I've interacted with, I haven't met anybody that just feels clueless when you walk into any of your shops. You can tell that there's a certain level of education and a certain level of knowledge that you expect out of your employees, and it really shows. It shines through.
I mean, before you're left alone, you spend some time with folks who've been doing it for a while. It's not always that case. Emergencies happen or timelines get pushed up, but in the end, we try.
Yeah. You mentioned that you started the shop in 2010.
2011. Yeah.
2011. So what really drove you into opening your own shop? I mean, it's a massive commitment, and it's a huge leap of faith that you're taking. I mean, I can only imagine. Starting a brand is one thing. Starting a shop is a whole nother beast, man. And so, what drove you to want to be able to open your own shop? What is Brett pre-opening up Tobaccology?
Ignorance. I think you always think there's more money in the the career path you choose than there is.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think there's always an ease in things that you choose to do than there is. But that's why I say ignorance. I don't mean it in the sense that of rudeness. I mean it in the sense of truly not understanding and not knowing.
Yeah.
I had a strong entrepreneurial desire my whole life, and I just wanted, and not that I don't work well with others, I just like being my own boss. That being said, I believe that the harder you work, the better off you can make it for yourself. That's the form of the American thing. I hate the American dream phrase, but the American thing that you can make it better for you and your family the harder you work. And I wanted to find something that I was passionate about and loved, however green I may have been. I found love for smoking cigars and what it brought, but as well as the interaction with different types of people.
Yeah, man.
And for me, this was the part of the integration chain.
Yeah.
You started a different integration, different
Sure.
level of the integration chain. I thought that this was the best part that allowed me to do so.
Yeah, that a lot of times one of the phrases that we say too is like the great equalizer. Like it feels like the cigar, the amount of people from different walks of life that you meet in a cigar shop, all sitting around just literally smoking a cigar. The amount of conversation that you have with people that you would not have in any other
Within reason,
social situation.
I think within reason. I think that there's a level of ultra wealth that doesn't really associate sometimes. It's just as I think there's a level of the other end of the spectrum that there's just a comfortable feeling that it's not always that way. But
Yep.
I think in general statement that is true. I think that you find a good meshing of. I don't really think it's necessarily income that mesh happens. I think it's just walks of life.
Walks of life, yeah.
Walks of life of people. I always relate back to time in the military and always wearing green, and then all of a sudden you get a leave, or you get to go out somewhere and you see how someone dresses and you're like, whoa. I don't know if we would have, I'm sure they felt that about, the jeans and the boots and like, whoa,
Sure.
I don't know if I would have hung out with you or that was my first interaction, even before cigars, of just like an equalizer, being the military, going through those things together, and then all of a sudden it didn't matter, right?
Sure.
And I think that's where cigars provides that mixture.
So what got you? So how long before you opened up your first shop were you into smoking cigars? Like, was this something that, like for me, and for instance, 18 years old, I grew up as a kid. My dad would smoke cigars. So when I was young, I had always been drawn to the aroma of a cigar, and I remember I couldn't wait to smoke my very first cigar. Yeah. So I smoked mine when I was 18.
I think a lot of people have that patriarchal memory and that association with cigar smoke. It's a good thing because it benefits the whole industry as a whole.
Yeah.
For me, there was some informal smoking, but I would drastically say that my father was a very, very part-time cigar smoker.
Same.
My grandfather, smoker.
Yeah.
You could take a nail along the windshield, right, of that car. There's a guarantee there. Yeah. So for me, it was just my experiences, right? Yeah. I just kind of fell in love with it, and a couple experiences here and there through life that cigars were the equalizer or the make you forget where you're at type of thing. That really helped me. Like, oh, okay, that's powerful. Yeah, that's powerful stuff. So that was kind of it. I just kind of fell in love with it.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, living up in the Northern Virginia area, man. There's I will say that. Anybody who lives up in this area knows Tobaccology, and it's like a staple. I've met so many people that travel out from, I would say a majority, if I had to guess, a majority of the customers that visit this area tend to be, like you said, a little west of DC, of the all that DMV craziness. But the amount of people that I've met that will travel west just to come out here to Tobaccology is pretty crazy too. A lot of people, I mean, the reality is that a lot of they'll skip over a lot of lounges just to come out here and hang out with you and hang out with some of the guys here.
Crazy, right?
It is.
It's a humbling thing to hear that, and thank you for that. because you work hard at what you do. And in the end, I'm a host. And I've created an environment that tries to be as welcoming as it can. And we mix in as much real fun, genuine fun as we can. And we've done a ton of things over the years.
Let's talk about
to
those.
get there. But you've got to remember, and not to stop from that, but it's only 15 years.
Yeah.
Right? It's not even, and that's crazy because there's shops, there's second, third generation shops in these areas that have been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
And I never take that for granted in what you said. However, we do have a phrase, and what we call that is locally famous. And we say that.
You're beyond locally famous, brother.
Hold on. But what I mean by that is locally in the sense of the industry.
Sure.
I don't mean that locally as a geographical thing.
Sure.
Because in this area, we get a lot of folks who travel, whether they travel for work or pleasure, and they visit shops. Why? Because they understand what a tobacconist is. And when they go to a real shop, a real tobacconist, and they have conversations, and then it eventually comes up, where are you from? Where do you smoke? And like, Brett and Bubba, Brett and Plumber. And it's become a thing, and that's the phenomena we call locally famous. Because it's not real famous. It doesn't mean anything. I'm not rich.
Yeah.
But in the end, that's exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
Is people know that there is a place you can go that you can have fun.
There's a place that you can go
place.
And sit in a barber's chair and smoke a cigar.
Yeah, that was
pretty sweet.
A lot of people have tried in this business to do a smoking barbershop, or they have smoking in the barbershop. And it's not that I wanted that, because I have no desire to cut hair. However, I do cut my young son's hair because I cannot pay $30 for a haircut. It's impossible. And his fade is messed up constantly, but he's too young to know. So hopefully
like me.
I don't develop an insecurity from any side note. I just, during COVID, a friend had a shop, and she kind of had to shut it down. And I said, what are you doing with the barber chairs? And she said, well, I don't know. I got to get rid of them. I said, I'll take them. And I helped her out in that sense. And we had the chairs, and it's something different.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
One of the tricks of this business, as far as furniture goes, when you have a lounge that guys sit in every day, is longevity.
Dude.
Longevity of the chair, longevity of the leather, longevity of the hardware. It's hard.
Longevity and comfort, though, too.
Right.
It's a balance.
What gets it in every single day.
Yeah.
It's used. A barber chair.
Yep.
So we give it a shot. And some people don't like it. Sure. And others think it's great. But it's a fun thing.
It catches your eye. As soon as you walk in, you're like, is that a barber's chair?
Yeah.
This isn't a barber shop. What's going on here? No, I like it. Yeah. And what you said, even beyond the barber chair, just all of your furniture around here, it's it's just comfortable chairs too. So often you go into like a cigar lounge and they want to be, maybe a little bit more like posh, if you will. And the chairs just oftentimes, man, like for what really makes people want to go to your shop, in addition to like the cigar lounge, the environment, one big factor is the chairs, man. And your guys' shop is like, these chairs right here all day.
I have a picture frame from the first day I opened, and I had my outdoor lawn furniture.
Yeah.
Gotta
start somewhere, bro.
I opened. I mean, when I tell you that the amount of money that I needed, that I used to open the shop, comparative to what I would recommend for someone, it was probably a fifth. It was probably a fifth of what it was.
Yeah. It reminds me of like when you get a new apartment and you're sitting on like lawn chairs and sleeping on the
That being said, and we've gone through iterations, right? I've never looked at a Facebook Marketplace leather couch that I haven't given serious consideration to, right? And we've gone, and I've gone through the love seats and the sofas, and do I want single chairs? So we've gone through iterations over the years, because stuff doesn't last.
Sure.
It just doesn't last. You think your furniture lasts at your house? Try grown men flopping down with no musculature control on them every day.
And dropping hot ash on it.
Yeah. It just happens.
Brett, I'm so sorry, man. I put a hole in your leather.
What do you get upset? I mean, it's part of the. I sold you that ash, so it's a difficult thing to deal with, but it's a constant battle. As far as that goes, and you get lucky sometimes. You get lucky, and the culture helps, right? There's a lot of characters in these shops that do different stuff or come across different things, or in one shop I have leftover leather pouches from a country club because the country club just wanted to switch the colors at the country club. So one of the members was like, "Oh, hey, I know someone who would like those single leather chairs." It's a dynamic type of thing that's always changing, and you're always looking for the next thing or to have fun.
Yeah, you're finding like it, but you've been able to curate almost like a perfection in the chaos, right? Like nothing matches, right? In this case, you have like little odds and end pieces, but that like there's so many, like when you walk around the shop, the tables have a story to them, the ashtrays have a story to them, the chairs have a story to them. I mean, I'm looking here at all of your license plates. So what's the story with the license plates?
So when I first opened, I realized how small I really was, and I began to notice that I was just a very, very small fish in the sea or ship in the ocean, and I wanted to think of a way to keep in the mind of the people that were good enough to take their time and money to come to the area and come to my shop. And in the beginning, as you can see, it starts off with boutique names and boutique brands, and it works to bigger brands or it works to different stuff. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to get a vanity plate made. And in the state of Virginia, you can get a sample plate made, even if it's already a regular plate, with any of the special plate, with any name you want. And it just comes with these 2 sample tags on it.
I did not know that.
I know, no, a lot of people don't. So what I did is I would put the Virginia plate that has a heart in it, and then I would put the name of the brand or the name of the person, and then I would get 2. And when they would come to visit the shop, I would sign one for them because they're going to keep it in their office. It might be their home office, it might be the office, but it's got their brand name on it, and it's the state they're selling cigars into.
It's pretty sweet.
So they're going to keep it up there. And then I would get one for them that I would sign, and then I would have them sign one that we would put on the shop. So as you can see, first event we ever did was Glenn from Christoph, right? And then Gary from Emilio, and then Sean Williams, who now is Cohiba Sean Williams, but before was Primer Mundo Sean Williams, and then Eddie Ortega. And Eddie Ortega is no longer in the business, but he was with Sean. They made a lot of cigars together. And then you can see Roma Craft was in here earlier. And then Gary Sheffield visited because he had a cigar with Rocky Patel. So he came in. That one's in plastic because I'm a baseball fan. So I got Gary Sheffield's signature on that. He had a cigar called the 500. So you can just see how it transpires.
That's really cool.
Now it's slowed down a little bit because as you add shops, I mean, these are the little things that you can do when you're sitting here for hours upon hours in one shop trying to think, how do I make it better? How do I push the envelope? And when you start adding more shops, your time gets smaller and your worries get different and those things. So I've tried to kind of stay up with it, but it's things like that, little neat thing, niches like that are the ones that take a hit when you try to expand locations and things like that.
The creativity is that's another one of the things that catches your eye when you walk in. You're like, those license plates? Yeah, and then you start looking at them and you're like, oh, well, hold on now. It's pretty cool.
That was a fun one we did early on.
Yeah, I mean, you do a lot of really cool things here at this lounge. You do a lot of really cool things at some of your other lounges. One that we definitely need to talk about is the Little Debbie's, man. Yeah. Where did this start? And talk a little bit about the Little Debbie situation here.
The Little Debbie's, essentially, we had a conversation one day in here, like you do many times. You're just talking about something, and I believe probably the what's the best Little Debbie discussion came up, and someone made a comment, and I made a comment, and next thing you know, a shipment of Little Debbie shows up. I don't know who it's from.
When you say shipment, how much are we talking about?
They buy by the case. So 30 packs. And it was just a surprise, and it's great because I know what it was for. It was because of that discussion, and I know that everybody who comes in the shop is going to enjoy it because, I mean, I provide sodas and water, no charge for everyone here because I want you to feel comfortable. So having little snacks is perfect, but it gets hard to provide that. So somebody did that, and to say thank you, I decided to start filming a funny video. So I filmed a funny video, and then that led to the next shipment. I filmed a funny video, and it was just me, and it really kind of embodies what it's the group that's come together of this shop, especially because they understand the humor in it.
Yeah, man.
And they want to help us. They want to help me. They want to help the other folks that work here. They want to help each other. And that's what's so cool, in particular about this shop, is they take care of each other. And that was another part. Now, the videos was just my way of saying thank you.
Yeah.
And it turned into how creative can I be or crass can I be in a few of them, to just fun. And I don't even make a video for every shipment. That's the way what it really becomes. But it's just a neat little thing that for this shop in general has kind of progressed over the years.
So remember, when you come visit Tobaccology, make sure you bring a box of Little Debbie's to share.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. But calling and getting the hierarchy of what's important, what the list is a good thing. So
yeah, man, that's awesome.
I think what we need to talk about is what happened as soon as you went into the first shop.
What's that?
You trying to sell the cigars out at a golf course.
Oh yeah. That was funny.
Because
that was good.
For me, that was a good moment.
That was great.
So I have a lot of humidors that are at outside places, i.e. wineries, breweries, and golf courses in particular. And I had just brought in HDA Cigars, and we had them in the shops, and you went to one of the local golf courses that I happen to have a relationship with and sell.
Yep.
And then you called me and said, "Hey man, I got to apologize." And I was like, "Apologize for what?" And sure enough, you had wind one. And what did they say to you?
Yeah, they said, "Hey, really interested in your brand. That's great. Love what it is that you're doing. But all of our cigars are our humidors managed by this guy named Brett at Tobaccology." And I was like, "Say no more, man." Yeah. It's
a win. No.
And I was like, "Look, man, we work with Brett. Yeah. I appreciate it." Yeah. And so I made sure to reach out to you and just to let you know.
And that was awesome. Yeah. And it was a good moment for me. It was a laughable moment between us. But what also it got me the ability to, and this is where it's really important. It's important for young brands to understand the retail side sales of the brand, not just the wholesale sale. And what I mean by that is, at a golf course where we're not doing an event that's maybe veteran specific, or that is the majority of cigar smokers that are at these places that are going to buy a cigar are part-time cigar smokers.
For sure.
Right? And because the full-time cigar smokers, i.e. everybody that smokes with me, brings a humidor with cigars.
Yep.
Right? Now, what's neat about that is it was a learning moment for everybody, in the sense that I was able to say, "Hey, listen, this is why these cigars are there."
Yep.
Because they're mass market, they're
sure.
light Connecticut's, or they're names that are recognized, because in that setting, that's what's going to move.
Absolutely.
That's what's going to move. And it also allowed us to dive deeper into, if there's veteran sponsored events, that's where we attack.
Yeah.
Right? If there's a tournament or things like that, that's where. So I think it was a good moment for both of us in that sense, that we could really move forward with it. But what's cool about you guys, and this is it's not just the first month that we've had them. And yes, we were the first, but it's not just that initial business. But there are you can tell that you guys are out there working, because you can tell that people are coming in and buying those cigars, and they're coming in for those cigars. And that's the key. The key is that turnover, that shelf turnover, that me or my employees, tobacconists, don't have to sell every time.
Sure.
Because as much as we love cigars, as much as we love a cigar or a wrapper or something like that, or a factory, if folks aren't looking for it on their own, it's next to impossible to keep ordering more.
Yeah, we that's one thing that we always say, is that we think that a shop will hand sell to a customer HDA one time, or maybe they'll see our cigar and they'll be like, "Oh, that's really interesting," or they'll see that it's veteran owned and they want to give it a shot. We want everybody to come back and smoke it a second, third, fourth time, because it's a damn good cigar. And that's really what we really push for. And the ability to rely on a shop owner like you that is extremely knowledgeable about everything in his inventory, to include HDA, it really helps a brand like HDA grow. It really it's been a fun year and a half here in the Tobaccology family, for sure. Yeah, man. So let's talk about your type of cigar. What is, give me, you don't have to call out by name unless you want to, your top 3, what is like your flavor profile when you smoke a cigar? Understand that it might change depending on the time of day or the situation that you're in, but what is the type of cigar that you find yourself just naturally drawn to?
You know, and this floats around. If you spend enough time in a shop, you're going to have these conversations. It's like every time the Powerball gets above 500 million, you can go into a shop and have a discussion about what the you do with that money, right? So yeah. I don't have a problem answering this question, but I'm going to answer it honestly. If anybody says that it hasn't changed as they've progressed through smoking, they're lying. If anybody who does this for a living gives you definitive answers, I wonder how much they're smoking. And here's why. Because even if I smoke 3 cigars a day for 4 years, I have trouble smoking every cigar 3 times that have been in my humidor. So it's become a job for me. And it goes around a lot because I get this question asked. Because everybody wants to know a guy who smokes for a living, what they enjoy. But in the end, it comes down to, this is a job for me. So a lot of my smoking isn't what I want to smoke.
Sure.
It's what I have to smoke.
Sure.
To be good at what, I don't say that in
I know what you mean.
An arrogant way, but to be sufficient.
To be knowledgeable about what it is, yeah.
And so for me, you know, if I had to pick, I do a lot of golfing. I do some fishing. I'm with the kids a lot. So I need, if I'm in the sun, mild to medium, right? I'm not trying to sweat while already sweating playing golf, right? I'm not trying to, you know, if I'm...
You don't want to drink a Guinness when it's 100 degrees out, is what you're saying? Yeah.
So that's what I mean when I say, for me, I'll usually bring 1 or 2 that I want, and then I'll bring 1 or 2 that I need to smoke, that I haven't smoked in a while, right? Because we know this is a crop. It's grown. It's not always the same.
Sure.
We want it to be the same. Master blenders want it to be the same. Everybody in the business wants each blend to always be the same.
And it's not quite the case.
It's hard. It's not easy to do. So I'm always trying to smoke, and always so I can have a viable, on point opinion about things. But mild to medium, you know, I have people that I love. I have people that I want to post. You know, I'm a big Hoyt, Nicaragua fan, right? I love the people behind the factory. So I will try it. I'm a big, you know, Romacraft fan. Yeah. But I'm also the kind of person who understands that a lot of their stuff is stronger than what I will smoke every day that I'm smoking.
Situationally,
right? Situationally. So that's, I'm real about that. You know what you know, and it's all about figuring out what I can do, whatever the situation is, and then what I want that day, and then what I need to smoke.
Sure.
Because I haven't smoked in a while, or I know it's a new batch, or for like example, for a boutique, it's harder for you guys to get the same tobaccos.
Sure.
So when I get that next shipment, right, we know B&B gets filled. I gotta see what is it tasting like? Where are we at? Or is it the same? Can I still recommend it if someone likes this cigar? Can I still recommend this one? Things like that. So for me, it's not cut and dry. Yeah. And I don't hold it against anybody. You know, if I was Desert Island in it, I've had some pretty good cigars over the years. Okay. You know, I've had some good Cubans. I've had some good Dominicans. I've had some good Nicaraguans.
What's your favorite country though? If you in that desert,
Nicaragua. You know, I think if you look at the curated museum that we talked about earlier, the curated humidor, 80% is probably, you know. However, I have some great relationships with some Honduran folks, right? I mean, the Oscar house that we've made over the years has helped support Oscar and Island Jim through the years is a heck of a seller for me, and it's a great cigar. It's got some Nicaraguan in it, some Honduran. So there is no definitive answer, but the majority of my humidor is Nicaragua.
I like that you mentioned Island Jim. I got to meet him for the first time at PCA. We ran into each other at PCA, and I got to meet Island Jim at PCA. Andre and I did, and he's exactly what you would expect. He's just a cool cat, man. A cool cat.
He's a genuine.
He is very. You could tell he's just.
That's and
Yeah,
if I one thing that I will always try to do is surround myself with genuine people, and Jim is a genuine, heartfelt person.
And he has a shop in your hometown too, right?
Well, he had his original shop was in Pittsburgh. Now I'm a Western Pennsylvania boy. You know, I grew up high school in Erie, Pennsylvania, but I went down to college in Pittsburgh. So I spent college and then recruited for the military out of Pittsburgh. However, I think he's got a shop down in Florida now.
He does.
I think he's kind of moved down south a little bit, which fits that lifestyle a little bit.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, he's great people. Mel, his partner, is a wonderful, wonderful woman.
I haven't had an opportunity to meet her yet, but yeah, it was kind of like meeting a celebrity that when you meet him, you wouldn't. He doesn't act like a celebrity by any stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, really genuinely, he seemed like a genuinely good. He took the time to talk to the nobody that was Zach at his first PCA and Andre, and he talked to us, and he ended up bringing us into a shop up in PA. It's been great, but he just, you could tell he just cared, and he's a genuinely good guy. So
he'll never forget the beginning.
Yeah,
he's just that type of person,
which is really cool.
It's just who he is.
So
I love that about him.
So speaking about beginning, what was do you remember the very first brand that you brought in? The very first cigar that you purchased for the shop? I'm sure you obviously opened with multiple different, but
I mean, I think I started with something like 20 grand with the cigars, which wasn't a lot. I know there was some Oliva, some Christoph, some smaller boutiques, you know, but I remember Oliva being one of the first, and we've had a great relationship ever since.
Sure.
And done nothing but grow that business. You know, I've had some great small boutiques, right? You know, Eddie Ortega and Sean Williams from Raimundo and Romocraft shortly after. I was a part of a really neat little thing called the Tweet Up early on, way back in 2012 or 2013, and that was kind of a fun boutique oriented event where folks would travel in this area to different shops and celebrate different boutique blends. So it was some fun stuff.
What is the most recent, the newest brand that you have brought into one of your shops? A brand that you just recently, do you know what the newest brand is?
Gosh, do I want to say you guys? That would mean that I really haven't done much in the past year and a half as far as that goes. Well, let's be honest. I have a 6-week-old at home, so
you're a little bit of a busy man.
Child, you know, 6-week-old. So right now, everything's kind of crazy. Much like here at the shop, where I fly by the seat of my pants. I'm definitely that way at home.
Okay.
I try to give Jess the control as well as me just figure it out. So we're finding our rhythm there. So everything's a little bit jumbled, but I would say brand new is, you know, probably you guys, right?
Yeah.
Like I really haven't been in that market of open to smaller brands. Plus, I don't think there are a ton of brands that are trying to come out every time.
Sure.
You know, I think shows have changed over the years for me. It depends what type of situation we're at, time of year. You know, I'm a big proponent of, I'm not a big fan of spring for the PCA. I was a big fan of summer. I think everybody above Southern Virginia, it's winter's hard.
Winter stuff, yeah.
You know, and I don't think that, I know this is off topic, I guess.
No, please.
I don't think that, you know, folks give that some consideration when you think about the time that it slows down in the winter, and then hitting that with a show where we're supposed to
spend a bunch of money
and project. For smaller guys, it makes it harder.
It does, yeah.
So it's harder to bring in a lot of smaller brands, right? And I go around and I try to smoke everybody's stuff, but in the end, it's when, you know, I need to have that relationship, you know,
Sure.
coming in, being local,
Sure.
that type of thing. And now we've brought in newer cigars from other companies, but I think as far as smaller brand, I think you guys might be the last one we brought in. I know that says something a year and a half ago, but
No.
you know, it's hard to do.
Yeah. I think you brought up a good point. You know, we've been, Andre and I have now gone to exactly one PCA. So, you know, seasoned vets, right? Yeah, not quite. And that was one of the sentiments. So we don't know any better in the sense that our PCA has been the spring. We know a PCA as being in spring. I know that's fairly new, and we've heard very similar sentiments, like you said, about people that truly have all 4 seasons in their local area that struggle on bringing in new brands, and just that April timeframe being kind of tough for shops in the northeast especially.
Well, and I want to add one thing to that. I love what the PCA does. I think we're on the right path. I will always support. So that isn't a knock on them trying new things.
Sure.
I just think that all too often, bigger names lend to bigger voices or louder voices.
Sure.
And a lot of times, smaller names, smaller voices aren't thought about. That might be in a different situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it also might just be time.
Yeah.
Right? Like you said, we've only had one spring down. Let's see how it goes. Let's adjust fire. Maybe I can get better at forecasting and projection. Who knows? Maybe folks can get better at making new cigars and releasing new stuff throughout the year.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I want to shift gears a little bit and kind of ask you some off cigar topic questions.
Okay.
So you mentioned Desert Island cigars. One of my favorite questions to ask is, in addition to Desert Island cigars, let's talk Desert Island food. All right.
Okay.
So you're on a desert island. You can only eat one meal for the rest of your life. All right. You get an entree, 2 sides, a beverage, and a dessert. We'll say for the purposes of this exercise, you do not, the nutritional value of the meal is all the same. So you can eat junk food all day and it's not going to have a negative effect on you. What are you picking? Start with the entree. What would your entree be?
I'm going to start with the one thing I know guaranteed.
Okay.
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew. Okay.
Yellow 5 might be the end of me. Sugar might be the end of me.
Yeah.
But as of right now, Mountain Dew would be the cold. Mountain Dew would be that. Why is the rum gone? Meal. There are moments in the desert where I thought about that, and a good solid chicken and broccoli.
Okay.
A good
like
solid
grilled chicken and broccoli?
No, like
you're saying like Chinese chicken and broccoli?
Yes.
All right, I like it.
Chicken and broccoli. Thought about it a lot.
Okay.
Can't not. Nice white rice. I'm boring. I get it. But for me, a good chicken and rice, simple broccoli. I can stand a vegetable. I can stand.
All right.
I can convince myself that it's good. Sides. I'm always a mac and cheese guy.
Okay. All right.
I'm always going to go mac and cheese.
Sure.
And, if I have those things, and then I can call anything I want. I'll probably bring in like a donut stick, for the other side, because give my little Debbie shout out.
I like it.
Keep it true.
Got to rep the brand.
True to it. So that's probably where I'm at.
What about movies? Give me your top 3 favorite movies of all time.
I want to say Godfather 3 just to start some shit. But I'm not going to.
Frozen. Got it. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm in right now. I'm in that stage.
Yeah.
Big
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse guy.
We watch a lot of TV in the shops.
Sure.
And I'll look at it from that side. Which ones rarely get turned off or always get turned to?
Okay. Yeah.
Shawshank Redemption's a good one.
Man, I'll tell you,
it's hard.
It's so funny you said that, because that was at the top of my mind when you said that.
It's hard, and the best part is, Morgan Freeman being Red. It's just to me, it's just a classic. But that one, that's a great one. Yeah. Movies.
You can't go wrong with Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, it's in my top 5 for sure.
I know, and there's so many to choose from. But I'm definitely saying Shawshank. I'm saying that it just depends what kind of mood you're in, right? For me, entertainment that I've seen 1,000 times, it's all about what kind of mood I'm in. Because there are times when I'll turn, Tin Cup. Right.
Okay.
There's times where I'm not turning off Tin Cup.
Okay.
Even though I know what's going to happen, I'm just not turning it off.
Yeah.
There's, My Cousin Vinny. There's so many. Scent of a Woman. There's so many that if it's in the right time, it's just I want to. I dig it. I'll see it. So, but Shawshank's where I'm sticking.
All right.
That's kind of where I'm at.
I like it. Tell me about some of the cool things that you do here at the shop that you would say sets you apart from not only just other shops in the area, but maybe something unique that you guys do here in the shop? We talked about like the snack cakes, we talked about the license plates, but what's something that you do to really build that community here in the shop that's different than any other shop? Maybe not every other shop, but something very unique that you guys do here at Tobaccology.
No, I wish it was one thing. I wish there was a single answer to this.
Because I know from my perspective, I have a couple things that I see from my perspective that you guys do that's different than other shops.
I mean, we've done challenge coins that tessellate, right? We've done humidity beads, right? Like the everybody leaves here with our own homemade little humidity pack in each cigars. There's the sodas and water.
Yeah.
I never charge for soda and water.
Sure.
So I'm always, but all that comes down to, I just think, what would I want? What would I want in a shop?
It's huge.
And there's things that work and there's things that don't.
Yeah.
I mean, NFL ticket alone for a commercial building is out of control.
Yeah.
But it's something that we enjoy.
It's something that I got to imagine is good for business, but man, it's so appreciated by those that are.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But everything we just mentioned, there are people that don't care.
Yeah, sure.
And there are people who it makes a difference. In the end, I wish I could say that it was just being kind and making everybody feel welcome. I really wish that was the gimmick. I really do. But that isn't all under my control. Yeah. That's under the control of the people who come in the shop, right? That's under the control of the guy sitting there in the middle of the day who's having a bad day. I can't tell you how many guys have come in here at the beginning of a divorce, or come in here at when their oldest child is not talking to them, or they think they're never going to talk to them again, and now 10 years later. They're best friends and they're with that kid's kid. It's just, there's so many things that happen that in the end, I hope that it's just a place where you can come and feel comfortable, because all too often in this business, you walk into a shop and nobody talks and nobody introduces themselves. And the person who does try to start a conversation is looked at as a pariah.
Sure.
And it's yes, everybody can overstep bounds sometimes, but I just hope everybody's kind. I would love for that to be the thing, but we've tried a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, man.
A bunch of creative stuff over the years that we just try and do.
Yeah.
Just have fun.
I'll tell you, the first time I came into one of your shops, it was this shop actually. Well, technically it was Elizabeth Cigar and Pipe, but it was before you owned it. But this was the first Tobaccology shop that I came in. And there's no way you remember it, because like I said, this is well before HDA. But you took the time to walk back into the humidor with me, kind of walk around the humidor and tell me about some of the cigars. You told me the story about Roma Craft and how at the time I had just discovered Roma Craft. I'm sure you had been with them for many years, and you took the time to talk about each one of your cigars. You took the time to kind of talk about the shop itself. You shared your story. It definitely makes a big impact on people when you take that time to hospitality, in the sense that you're just being a good host, not necessarily the white glove service hospitality, but the hospitality of being a good host, taking care of your people. And the fact that you had mentioned the showing that you care is very, very evident when you stop into a Tobaccology shop. And it's something that it's the reason you have regulars, and it's the reason why when people that are not regulars are still coming back and returning. So I can only imagine that being in the Northern Virginia, the DC area, there's a lot of transit people coming through. There's a lot of people that I have to imagine are returning. I travel a lot, and when I go to a new area, well before I started the brand, I was always looking for shops like this that when I would go back to like a new city that I don't frequent too often, I was always looking for shops like this.
Funny, I go to Houston, I'm going to Stogie's, right? I'm going to see George and Jenny. Like I understand completely. But one thing I will say, don't bring white gloves here. Don't ever bring white gloves to a cigar shop. It's impossible. It's impossible. No, but thank you for that. That's what I hope, and that's what you always want.
I mean, you do stuff like, you have football pools, you have squares that you're doing events. Talk about the big annual event that you do every single year, man.
Yep.
What is it?
Yeah, I mean, well, over the years, we started with barbecue, right?
Yep.
Everybody starts with barbecue. And we've done chili cook-offs, we've done spaghetti cook-offs, we've done walking taco events, we've done cotton candy circus carnival food, we've done everything over the years, and we wanted to try to do something different, so we decided to try a crawfish boil. Now, I say different because we're up here, right? I got friends down south that every
crawfish
weekend,
get out of here. Yeah.
We wanted to try it, and we had no idea what we're doing, but we invested the time to try our best and learn, and we've built a nice little business, a nice little event last Saturday of April. We always do that, and it's just, but we do a low country boil, right, in the fall, so we like that spicy corn and sausage and mushrooms and potatoes, and and we just want to do something a little different. So instead of crawfish, we do it with shrimp, and that's the low country boil.
Sure.
We do that usually at the beginning of fall, and we've happened to do that with Dave Lafferty of Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, and it's just a fun way to try. But we do all types of things. We do. We love the Big Lebowski, right? A few of us love the Big Lebowski, and I always thought it would be unique to, rather than hold a Halloween party every year, can I make grown men and women dress up in a costume, not on Halloween? And that was me just trying to be different. So I thought, what could make people dress up? So the first year, there was 5 of us or 6 of us who dressed up like Big Lebowski characters, and we went to we had an event here. And we drank White Russians, and then we went to the local bowling alley, and we bowled, and we decided not to do that every year, so we ended up trying that every other year. And then COVID hit, so that bowling alley turned into Wii bowling. So now we all dress up in a Big Lebowski characters, and we have a Wii bowling tournament in the back, and we drink White Russian. And that's every other year. Just that's the type of, and people you kind of look forward to it, but it's not for everybody, right?
Sure.
And that's okay, right? That's a subset of the group of people that come in that we just tried something different, and we've done some that have flopped as well, right? We've had blow up pugil stick rings in the back where we fought each other, but someone broke the wrist, and all kinds of stuff happens. All kinds of things happen. You try, some are keepers, some don't get keep. So, at one point, someone kicked a 40-yard field goal, and someone made the comment that, oh, you got to be an athlete to kick a 40-yard field goal. And I said, I'm an athlete. So a bet happened, and next thing you know, we got 50 people, and we're out at a football field, and I'm trying to kick a 40-yard field goal.
Did you?
It was downpour. It was downpour.
You gotta save yourself here.
Boys, there's glass. There's reflection of glass. Pull your pants up. Pull your pants up. There's reflections. Anyway, so someone made a bet, and I had to go out into a field, and we had to film it and try to kick a 40-yard field goal, and it was pouring down rain. And you can look back in the videos to see what happened. Needless to say, a lot of things we've tried. Some work, some stick. Others we just do. The key thing is we try to have fun. And in the end, it's a community, and it's no different than any other community that has character and culture, and you just try your best.
That crawfish boil, though, man, I'll tell you, the amount of people that I've met that don't live in Northern Virginia, I'll say something about Tobaccology, the amount of people that'll mention that crawfish boil, that event.
It's been fun.
How many years have you been doing that event?
I think, again, your boy doesn't really have anniversary thoughts like that, but I think we've been doing that for 8 or 9 years now.
It's huge.
That was before I opened the other shop, and that was in 2016. So actually, it might even be a decade.
Almost 10,
right? It might even be a decade. So I guarantee it was. It might even be 10 or 11 years. It just became a thing. And again, I like to host.
It's notorious, man.
And at one year, probably about right after COVID, I think we had 17 states represented, which is crazy.
Wow.
Because when you think about the people that travel to Cigar Fest in PA, or the Big Smoke down in Vegas, or Abe's Smoking, right? The stuff he does. It's just, and these are like legends. These are guys in the industry who've been doing this a long time, or big business in the industry for a long time. It's cool to think about. And I don't take that for granted. I don't say that in an arrogant fashion. I say that we've enjoyed the run, and we enjoy everybody who takes time and spends money to get here and stay and have fun with us on that last Saturday of April.
The last Saturday of April, yeah. Turn out, man. Turn out. So, look, man, I've really greatly appreciated your hospitality. Obviously, I appreciate everything that you've done for HDA. You've really helped Andre and I immensely. You were our very first account. Whether you realize it or not, your personality is so well known throughout the industry. The amount of people that I have met, and when I say that HDA is based out of Northern Virginia, the amount of people that have been like, Tobaccology, you know, Brett?
That's crazy.
And I'm like, yeah, it's crazy. It really is all around the country. So the influence that you have, the mark that you have left on the industry is definitely recognized. It's definitely appreciated, and it is always positive. I've seen it firsthand, man, with either regulars or people that come in for the very first time. The way that you treat everybody like you want to be treated is, it's definitely great to see. You could tell that owning these lounges are more than just a business to you. You could tell that it really is personal, and your personal touch on it aesthetically, but then your personal touch on it from an appreciation perspective is definitely noticed. And you've been doing it for 15 years, 16 years. Here's to another 16 more, right?
Hopefully.
So the last question I want to ask you before we sign out is one thing. I'll make a challenge to the cigar industry. What is one thing that you could, a recommendation, a change, something, a challenge that you can make to other shop owners, brands, consumers? What is something that you would recommend that would just make the cigar industry better?
You gave me that question, and I've given that a lot of thought the past week. And to me, there's a few things. One, I would say, on a societal level, we all are going through some shit. We all come from different places.
Yep.
And all too often, we are making judgments about each other or about groups of each other without understanding where that person or that group has come from and what they've been through. And I just want us to all step back here and fucking be nice.
Yeah.
Right. Because that to me is what is the bring together that we talk about, right? On a societal level. On a business level for the industry, it's okay to be humble enough to talk to people that you're going to rely on. What I mean by that is, if you want to open a shop and you're a consumer, go work in a shop.
Yeah.
Go help someone else. Go watch someone else struggle, right? And help them and work with them, because I have never met a shop owner that wouldn't love a person that comes and cleans and is nice and has a hunger for more knowledge that they turn down.
Yeah. Yep.
At the other end of that is, if you want to start a brand, go talk to the people who are going to be selling your cigars.
Yeah.
Go talk to them. What can I do? Where can I spend to help you? What will help me sell better? And for shop owners, never stop. Never, ever, ever stop.
Don't get complacent.
Never stop.
Yeah.
Never stop. Because, I do all this, and there's still days where I feel I don't do enough.
Sure.
And I mean that. And I'm always trying to do something. I'm always thinking of some way. I David Garofalo, right? And I know he owns a border shop, right? In a rough tax state. But David wrote a book called David vs. Goliath, right? And I've read that book, and a lot of those things I do myself. Others I was able to glean little interest from. I watch guys like Abe down at Smoking. I watch what the prep that he does, the support that he gets from his team, from other people in the industry. It's amazing. Never stop humbly searching for more knowledge, ever. And people, as far as customers in shops, if you don't have a desire, just be nice. Yep. Right? Just be nice. That goes back to the societal level, that where we started this, is just be kind to one another, because we're all going through some shit.
Yep.
And we've all come from different shit.
Yep.
And that's the biggest thing, right? Is just be nice and try to put yourself, or because in the end, and I mean this wholeheartedly, if you don't know me well enough and you got something bad to say about me, I really don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I really don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because people who know me, they know deep down, and that goes for all of us. I don't just say that for me. I'm not trying to be arrogant here. In the end, we get offended by what people say or what people do that we should not get offended by. We shouldn't.
Absolutely.
We don't know them well. We don't know each other well enough. And that's what this is all about.
Well said, man. Well said. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Dude, it's been an absolute pleasure. Tell everybody where they can, tell everybody where they can find you on social media, website.
Yeah, it's usually all just Tobaccology, whether it's tobaccology.com, Instagram, Tobaccology, Facebook. We do have the other shop, Tobaccology Haymarket's got a page, Leesburg Cigar and Pipe's got a page. But in the end, hit us up. We do have a website, but in the end, small business, man. It's hard to get everything up there. We do our best, but in the end, shop's best place. We'd love to see it. We put all our events out there, and hit us up.
Tobaccology in Haymarket, Tobaccology in Manassas, Leesburg Cigar and Pipe in Leesburg, all in the Northern Virginia region. Brett, it's been an absolute pleasure, brother.
Yeah,
Thank you so much again for everything.